And we are officially live for all of you watching. Ladies and gentlemen, the snowstorm is coming. It's brewing. The snowstorm is here. Yes, for all of you watching today, I'm going to have a very nice, beautiful stream for all of you. How many of you enjoy the winter snow? For each and every one of you that are here, welcome to the morning and afternoon weekend stream. For each and every one of you that are here, I know many of you have seen me drink this one recently, this whiskey, yes. You've seen me cooking, you see me doing a lot of things, but these are the mainstreams for the morning people, for the people in the morning, yes, the people in the morning that want to officially hear a little bit of something. For all of you watching, ladies and gentlemen, it is completely snowing out here. And I'm just going to say it for each and every one of you. You guys are amazing. Thank you for making my day better. Hopefully, I make your day better too. But for each and every one of you, ladies and gentlemen, positivity is key. Snowstorms are bad. What do you have to do in a snowstorm? Snowstorm is hidden. Do me a favor, hit that like button if you have it. And for all of you AM, yes, I see you AM. Somebody in the chamber says, Baracho, good to see you, Baracho. And also, for all of you, yes, how many of you been through a snowstorm? I do tell you, it's freaking hot out here in Miami. But I'm going to tell you, it's snowing, yes. For all of you watching, I will be talking about some fragrances. Men fragrances. Also, I will be talking about that one whiskey that we're going to be talking about right here. And also, I will be chopping this up for all of you because sometimes in a winter storm, there's a couple things that you need to do. And one of the main things you need to do in a winter storm, well, you need to chill out. That's what you need to do. You need to chill out. And I know many of you, it's very hard for you to chill out. In the chat room, let me know, chat room, where you're from. And also, if you guys have power, I know many of you don't have power. So for each and every one of you don't have power, hopefully you can rewatch this one. This is going to be for all my members, all my subscribers. And let's start off by doing this over here. Now, this is my own stogie. Good to see chat room. This is my own stogie. Don't forget to hit that like button. Hit that like button if you have it. My own stogie, and how beautiful this is. Yes. We're going to do a couple things. One thing is, I'm going to try to interact with you in the chat room. So if you have any questions, yes, ask it however you want to do. And for all of you doing, here we go. You guys know what time it is. It's snowing out here. It's snowing out here. How are you enjoying the winter storm? Let's do this. Let's light this up. Whew. Morning stream, afternoon stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button. So on the stream, I'll be drinking a little bit of that coffee. Cheers, all of you that drink a little bit of that coffee. How are you guys doing? I hope all of you haven't lost your power. Winter storm is really upon us. And I have to say, I don't know what's worse. Winter storm, a tornado, a hurricane, a flood, or a forest fire. I think all of them are pretty bad, but we have to say this. I think officially we can say this. Winter storm has to be one of the worst things you could ever find on Earth. Winter storm, not only does it freeze you up, you're not going to be able to use running water because it freezes. If you need to actually freeze your food, that's good. It's very good, but you're not going to be able to start up a fire. You're also not going to be able to smoke a stogie outside in the winter storm. Definitely not. You're not going to be able to go outside mainly. There's going to be a lot of things that some of you won't be able to do. You're not going to be able to drive. You can't drive in the snow. You're not going to be able to really function in the next couple days. How do you guys function in the winter storm? I can tell you one thing that I would do because I've been through a little storm. I'll tell you right now what I would do. And for all of you, here we go. Let's nose this out one time. One of the first things I would do is, just like right now, this is my pre-workout routine right now. I'm going to be doing a workout after this. My pre-workout routine, and I do recommend maybe to give it a shot. Get yourself some coffee, strong coffee. By the way, shout outs to Chase Bank. You guys remember back in the days, you know Chase Bank. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Over here in the chat room, I'm from Michigan, and the winter storm is actually south of us, but right now we got it like 8 inches of that snow, and it's under 5 degrees. I'm going to say this over here in the chat room. Bray. Thank you so much, Bray, for the comment. That's pretty brutal regardless. I know many people are going to get that under 50 degree. It's going to be insane, under 30, under 40. A lot of people are going to get insane storm. A lot of snow. I hate snow. Personally, I hate snow. Let's do this, another plunge of this. Let me tell you a little bit about my stogie. My stogie is very strong, but it's it's perfect for me, perfect for all of you. Make sure if you want one of my stogies, you already know what you have to do. Be a member. And big super chance will get you a care package. Over here, why you smack your lips? It's annoying, somebody says. Well, this is a channel that I do reviews of flavors. So each flavor that goes through my mouth, officially I can taste. I have a little bit of almost a little bit of pepper, but the pepper is almost blinded by the pop of. There's a strong lejero taste of that leaf that I put in here, and you could taste just a good array of woody notes, sweet woody notes. There's also a little bit of cherry on here, and not even to say that. I am having a little bit of coffee over here in the chat room. Really cold here in Indiana. Good to see Ken. Ken, thank you so much for commenting, and for each and every one of you that comment. Man, this is fantastic. There's like a little caramel going on here with this. So what do I recommend for some of you to do in the cold? What would I do? Well, first off, stogie is very hard to keep stogies in the cold. I would recommend some of you find a way to put them in glad bags if your humidor is not working. I know many of your humidors and your electricity will go out. Glad bags or Tupperwares are a big thing. Make sure it's sealed with no air going in and out of it. I would recommend you that for the next week or so if you have good stogies. Also, another thing I do recommend for a lot of you is get yourself some canned food. Get yourself some food that you can cook easy. My recommendation is get a little portable, if anything, small electric, or battery-powered little oven. You can make some sausages. I'll make some sausages for all of you in the mainstream today, and I'm going to show you what you can do just to prepare for that winter storm. There's a lot of things you could do. You could also, for some of you that do not know, you can't start a fire outside in the winter storm, right? And you don't want to be outside in the winter storm, but some people do, yes. Over here, somebody says, my buddy from Indiana, I worked with a company out here in Indiana, up here in Michigan. And for all of you that are working, shout out to FPL, and you guys know that's a huge thing in the USA. A lot of our power is going to be going out here in the USA, and for some of you that don't have power right now and you're watching, You're amazing if you're watching. If you're watching this stream, you're amazing if you're watching the stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's go little pump over here. And for all of you, remember, I stream literally every day. Today, the main stream is going to be in the afternoon. I'm going to give you a little bit more of that whiskey. I haven't drinking whiskey today, but I want to present to you this one. This is something I want everybody, honestly, to try to get. A Buffalo Trace store pick. I reviewed this one yesterday, and it's honestly one of the best you could get. The best in the market. I don't care what the ratings say. Maker's Mark #1, Mint Curves #1. No. This Buffalo Trace right here is honestly one of a kind. Shout out to Yellowstone. I'm wearing Yellowstone hat. Here we go. I do recommend some of you find a hobby that you have. One hobby that I recommend, stogies are great. It's a great hobby to get into stogies, but you have to really understand this is about flavor. It's about flavor. Also, for all of you, water. How many of you have water? You guys set with water? I hope you are set with water. I'm going to be drinking purified water. I'm going to be drinking some purified water, and for all of you, I need to get a taller seat. I honestly need to get a taller seat. I've been looking for some seats out there for all of you so you guys can get a little bit more, what is it, POV, more of that POV. But for all of you, water is a huge thing, man. Water is a huge thing. It doesn't really matter what kind of water you get in winter storm, right? It could be Fiji. It could be the Dasani. It could be the worst dookie water in the world. How do you keep that water without it getting frozen, yes? This is, somebody asked in the chat room what shirt this is. This is the throwback of Chase. You remember Chase? Shout out to all of you who remember Chase. This is a throwback of Chase. This is my workout sleeve. You remember Chase Bank? How many of you remember Chase Bank? You remember Chase Bank in the early 90s. How many of you remember that? Do me a favor, hit that like button if you haven't. Hit that like button if you haven't. Yes. All of you, we're also having coffee. I told you guys many times that I wanted to switch up the coffee, but I didn't get to the point of doing that yet. Still having the Bustelo coffee. Let me explain to you how you do that Bustelo. Yeah? Somebody says, yes, I remember a Chase Bank. You remember that Eagle back in the days? You remember that Eagle? Chat room, tell me you remember that Eagle. You remember that Eagle? Yes. Back in the days, everybody had mullets. Everybody wore those jeans. Everybody wore those. It's just, I think I'm like one of the only ones that has like nostalgia back in the days, right? All the things back in the days to me is nostalgia. If you're born in the 70s, you don't have too much nostalgia. Only nostalgia you have, some of you, would be maybe in the 60s. If you're born in the 70s, no, you got nostalgia for the early 80s, right? Early 80s. If some of you are born in the 70s, you got the nostalgia for the early 80s. The people out here born in the 60s, if you're born in 65, 67, some of your nostalgia is like in the 70s or late 80s, right? Here we go. Cheers to all of you guys. Amazing. What do I have to say about winter? Winter is one of the most brutal storms you could go through. I've been through hurricanes. I've been through the biggest hurricane possible. I've been through Katrina, Andrew. I've been through all the hurricanes here in Florida. And I could say a hurricane to me is so much adrenaline rush. It's such an adrenaline rush, right? A huge adrenaline rush. I do know that hurricanes are one of the biggest. Tornadoes, that is not even a rush. I don't know how many of you been around tornadoes, but that's not a rush. You about to die tonight. A tornado picks you up and you're gone. You're going to be flying with the cows. What else? Earthquakes, not too bad. They're going to be moving around. Feels like Earth is moving. What is moving? Not that bad. Earthquakes not that bad, right? You only think of the stuff that's going to fall. Not that bad. Unless you live in a condo. If you live in a condo or an apartment, this is why you shouldn't live in a condo apartment. Who wants to live in the 10th floor, the 12th floor? Don't live in a condo apartment. Get a house or a townhouse. Anyways, earthquakes, you can put that aside. Over here, somebody says in the chat room, winter is horrible, bro. If you live in Pennsylvania, where my home is at, I'm in the Navy ship right now. For all of you that are officially in the Navy ship, any of you veterans that are watching, or any of you that are the Red Cross for some reason just watching because this winter storm is happening, do me a favor. Subscribe. Later on, I'm going to show you what you can do, where you can make in your winter storm something easy, quick, fast. I want to make something for you in the mainstream. I'm going to try to double stream for each and every one of you for the next couple days. I know many of you are going through a lot, so I want to give you a little bit of a sound, a little bit of something you can listen to, and I want to make sure that you are involved in the chat room. Be part of the chat room, yes? Be part of the chat room. Random says, are you professional announcer, radio? No, I'm not. I do know people always been telling me, you should go announce the Churchill Downs. You should announce the Kentucky Derby. And I did one time in the chat room. Somebody had said that, but no, definitely not. I'm just really calm. When I'm really calm, I'm like this, really calm like this. If I'm loud, you'll see me loud. I go crazy and I'll say things that some of you are not used to. I'm very much in key. Yes. Over here, are we having a very warm winter in Ohio? Nice. Fuck it, 88. Thank you so much for being here. Fuck it, 88. It's super cold. Winter out here. So hot. It's so cold out here. My stogie's fantastic. I hope you enjoyed the stogie of ours. Stogie, yes. This is the strongest stogie that I have made. As a matter of fact, I made another stronger stogie. I made a couple strong stogies, but this one is the one that I literally have as much as I can every single day. And for all of you, I'm trying my best to read the channel for all of you, okay? Remember, super chats do help out. It helps out, and it helps my soul. It helps my soul out, yeah? Anyways, here we go. This is enticing. It's very enticing. I just want to keep on puffing. I'm going to say this. Cheers to all of you. Having a little bit of this before my workout. This is something for all of you that need to know. One of the best things you could do is do little workouts. What kind of workouts are good in a winter storm? Well, do some push-ups. Do some push-ups. If you have a jump rope, jump rope. Don't go outside and do all this. Do this inside if you need to. Push-ups. Sit-ups. You could do some sit-ups, but push-ups, jump ropes. Great to do. A little bit of weights helps out for some of you. And for some of you, always have a stogie before or after. It just gives you a little bit more of a, it gives you more of a relaxing feeling. You don't have to stress out about the snow. Am I stressed? I never stress. I never stress. The only time I stress, honestly, only time I stress is if the internet goes out. If the internet goes out and I'm doing a stream, you know, the time that I'm wasting with you guys, I want you guys to be watching. So that's the only times I really stress out. Sometimes when I get super chats, I don't stress out about that. What I do stress out is that you guys get a great entertaining live stream, yes? So today I'm rocking again. I was telling you, rocking my Chase. Rocking my Chase. Rocking my Yellowstone. Best show ever. One of the best, not the best show ever. You guys know what's my favorite. Peaky Blinders. Sons of Anarchy. Boardwalk Empires. There's a lot of shows that are one of my favorites, right? I'm going to say that. Cheers, all of you. People always ask, you're attractive. Why do you have long hair? I can't stand the fact that some people look at me. Sometimes it gets really annoying. Here, cheers all of you. Sopranos, there you go. Sopranos, another one. George, good to see you, George. Sopranos, another one of my favorites. For all of you, I'm trying my best to be here for all of you in these crucial times. You can rewatch this as much as you want. Over here, Tud says, need to try the cigar blend whiskey. Amazing. You have to definitely try it. Joseph Magnus cigar blend is really honestly fantastic. Over here, April Neal. Good to see April Neal. Good to see April Neal. Hope she's having a good day. Did my internet go out? Hey, you guys let me know if my internet went out. I don't think it did. I don't think it did. If it did, it did. Over here, over here. P Band says, I know people that have soaked their stogies in whiskey and then smoked them. I'm going to show you how to do that. Thank you so much, Fuck It 88. I'm going to show you how to do that. I was going to do it today on this stream, but I said it's too hot and it's too cold out here. Fuck it, 88. So what we're going to be doing is, not on this stream, but the next stream, which is going to be tomorrow, I will show you how to officially flavor your stogies. Now, my recommendation for all of you, don't pick just any stogie, okay? And don't pick just any, okay? Just don't pick any whiskey, all right? I'm going to show you how to do it tomorrow, okay? I'm going to tell you tomorrow that I will be doing a blend of a stogie for all of you so you know what it is, a flavored stogie, right? So for all of you, let me know if you can still see us. So here's the process for some of you who want to know. And this goes for all of you in winter. If you're trying to figure out something fun to do, here's a fun thing to do. Get your stogie, whatever stogie you like. Make sure, thank you so much, Fuck It 88. Make sure to get a stogie that is not super powerful. I was trying to stay away from the Maduros, try to go for the Connecticut's or the Habanos. And what you're going to do is this is what I'm just going to tell you what we're going to do tomorrow. If you have a stogie that's a Maduro, it's very hard for you to get a little bit more of those flavors of whatever spirit into your stogie without affecting it. Because it's strong. Maduros are very strong, and most of the time, it's going to taste, if you do it in a Maduro, it's going to taste like if you have wine or cognac. And you don't want it to taste like cognac or wine. So for all of you, what I recommend you, get yourself a good Habano. There's different companies out there you could pick out. Pick out one that's nice, not too full-bodied, and one that's really, 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 really in your ballpark of maybe having every day. Buy a couple of them. Now, can you buy mine? You can't buy mine. You cannot buy mine. I do not sell mine. I do sell them to friends and people that I know. But mine are only for my members and my moderators. They get the care package when they do send super chats, and I give them a little appreciation back of my own stogies. These are my own stogies. Anyways, for my own stogie, you put at least 5 or 6. You can start out with 3. Make sure to get yourself a container that is sealed, air sealed tight. You're also going to be getting a small little thing that you could drop a little bit of whiskey in it. You can use anything. I'll show you tomorrow what I use. And then you're just going to pour just a tad bit. You will not be pouring a lot of it because this will officially absorb all of the moisture inside the container. P-Ban, thank you so much, P-Ban, for appreciating it. But tomorrow we're going to do it, and don't miss that out. I will show you how to do it live, but you have to pick out the perfect whiskey. You can't just pick out any whiskey. If you pick out any whiskey, it's just going to affect the flavors. Whatever you like to have with it is kind of what you want to go for. But we're not talking about that on the stream. I just want to present to you something for tomorrow. Do me a favor, chat room. How many of you in the winter storm? Let me know. 67 votes. 67 votes. How many of you in that winter storm? Irish whiskey's nice. Only thing is with Irish whiskey, here we go. I'm just going to say it, so fuck it. Irish whiskey, if you blend Irish whiskey with certain stogies, sometimes I don't want pineapples. Okay? Melons, pineapples, and peaches. Sometimes I don't want to have that flavor in my stogie. And that's why I don't recommend wine. I don't recommend wine, putting it with wine. Wine has a strong, it almost tastes at the end. Your stogie is going to taste. If you try to flavor it with wine, it's going to taste like a strawberry. And I don't know if I want to taste a stogie that has a strawberry taste to it. Also, I don't personally, to me, I don't recommend what was said in the chat room. Irish whiskey, I just don't recommend it. It just there's so many of those stone fruits that are going to stay on here, and I think they're going to be the most dominant. No, I want something different, and I'll tell you right now what it is. Anything that adds to, maybe you have a stogie that has peanuts, almonds, silkiness. If you have a stogie that has a little bit of chocolate in there, a little bit of coffee, espresso, dark coffee. If you have a stogie that has Brazilian nut, maybe macadamia, maybe there's a stogie out there that has molasses notes. If you have a stogie out there that has a lot of pepper on there, all type of peppers, nutmegs, cinnamon. If you have a stogie out there that has like a leather note, if you have a stogie out there that has a little cherry note, you want it to complement with the certain whiskey. If you have a stogie out there that has just a little citrus note, like those daffodils, you want to complement it perfectly. You can't just pick any whiskey. But I'm going to show you tomorrow why I picked the whiskey and why I'm blending it with that. So you have to stay tuned for that one. It's going to be tomorrow, Sunday, church day, yes. This should be your church for all of you. I'm trying to read the chat room as much as I can. Somebody says, I freaking love Buffalo Trace. Well, this is not just the regular Buffalo Trace. This is a store pick. We reviewed this one yesterday. Go check out the review for yesterday's live stream. Daily Lama. Good to see you, Daily Lama. I'm going to see Glenlivet 14. Glenlivet 14 I wouldn't blend with a stogie. Now, what I'm talking about is infusing our stogies, which I'm going to do tomorrow. I'll be infusing my stogies. I'm going to be infusing my stogies with a certain whiskey or a certain level of flavor. You're going to see what I'm going to do tomorrow. Stay tuned for that one. You have to subscribe and hit that like button. And you also have to officially be part of this chat room so that you can officially be there tomorrow and I'll remember, yeah? Let's go back to the winter storm. One thing I'm going to say, forget about your fragrances. We're going to talk about fragrances right now because there's something I need to show you. Do you think about Penelope Bourbon? Ooh! What do you think about Penelope Bourbon? Most of the Penelope Bourbons are, to me, the special ones are very sweet. I don't specifically enjoy them too much when they're sweet. I know the Havana one that we just had yesterday. I had it with a stogie, I believe. I think it was yesterday, yeah. And I honestly, the stogie that I was having yesterday, I don't even remember what stogie I was having. Was it yesterday or the day before? I think it was the day before. Maybe it was yesterday. I was having, I think, my father blew. Was it that one or was I doing something else? Point of matter is I was doing a strong stogie. Oh yeah, I was doing Oliva Serie V, Maduro. And that one was very spicy. And the maple syrup note on that Penelope whiskey, which some of you, I don't recommend all of you to get Penelope, but the syrupy thickness of that whiskey kind of tuned down the pepper notes a little bit and gave it a little bit of that sweetness that it needed. But also, sweetness also can bring out some of those strong, spicy flavors on the stogie. So again, it's like you either like it or you don't. It's like being with a Latina. You either like the headache or you don't like the headache. And sometimes you don't get the headache. And if you don't get the headache, you get something else. You have to understand there's always going to be a balance. Always going to be a balance over here. Over here, Brick, MGP bought Penelope. Yes, yes. Promise to grow their revenue by a factor of 4 times. I think so. Yes, 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 yes. And that is true. That is true. That is true. It's good that Penelope sold that to them because I don't think that the companies should be staying alive right now. There's small companies, whiskey companies that should not be staying alive. Only reason why they're staying alive is like people like us on the internet. If it's not for people like us on the internet, they're not making commercials. It's for people like you guys in the internet. If it's not for you, some of these smaller distillery whiskey distillers, they'd be toast. They'd be dunzo. They'd be cooked. April Neal, I hope you're freezing. Hope you're freezing, April Neal. I hope your titties are freezing. Over here we go. Cheers, all of you. We're going to talk about fragrances now, but I just want to say I hope all of you are doing a good job enjoying and relaxing your winter storm. It's pretty bad. We have 76 likes, 76 likes. April Neal says her nipples are freaking hard and freezing. There she goes in the chat room. So you guys can talk to April in the chat room. Jay, good to see Jay. Jay, good to see Jay. Good afternoon, Reaper Crew. Reaper Crew, you know what time it is. If you don't know what time it is, by the way, look, I'm wearing a bracelet. Yes, this is a bracelet from April Neal. She has a store. I hope that one day she could post up the store that she has. Beautiful bracelet, and it's a thick one. This one fits because I'm pretty thick, you know what I mean? Anyways, the point of the matter is there's a big one. Jay in the chat room, I'm going to start reading comments. Right now, for all of you in this winter storm, I'm going to read the comments. Let me know where you're from. Over here in the chat room, Jay says, Penelope has access to their crazy warehouses, MGP barrels. So in their opinion, we're about to get some of the best MGP out of Penelope in 2026. Only issue is with Penelope, and I'm just going to say this for all of you, their main trait is using inexpensive whiskey and putting it with a certain type of finish. Their best revenue is literally picking out their cheapest whiskey that's good and putting it with a finished, just any kind of. I think they used Brazilian one recently. If they do that, they can increase the price of a whiskey just because you know it's MGP, just good whiskey. But then they're gonna enhance it with a kind of wood. Come on now. I don't want that sweetness. Point of the matter is, it does work with Stogies. If there's ever a company for you to get, and you like really a lot of Stogies, Penelope might be your thing. They do have a lot of ones that they're going to come out, and they're going to be thinking about anything possible. Somebody says over here, love that voice. Thank you so much. Stop it with that voice. I love that voice. Thank you so much. Over here, somebody says, I'm a bull rider. Shout out to you, bull rider. Over here, somebody says, howdy from the southwest Arizona. I was wearing the Arizona Coyotes jersey a couple days ago. Check out that stream. Shout out to Louisiana Hot Sauce. In the chat room, somebody says, who's from Louisiana? Yes. Over here, somebody's from St. Louis, Missouri. Good to see you, St. Louis, Missouri. Make sure to be part of the chat room as much as you can. These streams are for you and for you only. I'm going to make sure that these streams, morning streams, afternoon streams for you and for all of you watching. It's snowing out here. I'm freezing. Oof. I'm freezing out here. Woo. I'm freezing. This is so good. Honestly, the blend that I made is just fantastic, but you have to understand, sometimes you have to let it calm down, okay? You don't want to go too full hard on your stogie. You let it calm down. I'm having some coffee here. I'm from South Florida. Shout out to the 305. Over here, somebody says Penelope Project X. finishing that. I think Project X, I think it did too much on that Project X. Sorry to say, Penelope, lovers, they did too much on that Project X, and I will not be putting that on this stream. Project X, I will not be putting on. They did too much, too much. I think they went a little bit too far with that one. And that's what it is. Companies know that you're going to buy it anyways, right? But just like this, I'm going to say this. Buffalo Trace, yes, Buffalo Trace. Buy yourself a Buffalo Trace store pick. That's why I have it on the stream so you can see it. Buy yourself a Buffalo Trace store pick. Over here, Rock Hill Farm, single barrel. Bourbon is amazing. If you find it, buy it, buy it, buy it. That's a great one. Fantastic. Any Buffalo Trace product, any Buffalo Trace product, there's a store pick. Buy it, buy it, buy it. I don't care what you think. If you go into an Indian place, this is one thing. I'm just going to say this. Shout out to all the Indian boys out there. All the Indian boys. Shout out to all the Indian boys. They hard workers. Hard workers. They come from India to America. And what they do is, this is what they do. A new family from India comes over. Hear me out. And this is I think this is a beautiful thing. I think everybody should do this. But they do this perfectly. They come over from India and they have family here in wherever they are. Everybody puts a large part of money into a jackpot, which is not a jackpot, but it's the new family's jackpot money. So all the families that are in the state or all the families that are in the USA, they start adding to it. We're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Once that one family from India comes over, they get treated to a party, and in that party, they get that money. That money is the money that starts that family off. And that's why you see liquor stores with Indians, gas stations, Indian gas stations, food spots, Indian food spots. I'm just going to say this. They are very close to each other, these Indian people. They come from India. I'm proud of them. Do I like them? I don't care. I don't care. Habibi, I don't care. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care. I don't care where they're from, as long as they're good people. If they're good people, that's all I care about, right? They also they buy some of the Dunkin' Donuts. A couple of Dunkin' Donuts I remember back in the day. Some of my friends had, but that's what they do. I think it's pretty cool what they do. I don't have family like that to do that to me. Hell nah. We wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here on the stream. If I had a family that did that, we wouldn't be here. I'd probably would have store hoping to get sales today. God knows. Maybe I would have an Ace Hardware or something. God knows. Waiting for somebody out there to end the month good. God knows. Somebody says in the chat room, I know, right? Over here, P-Band, EP-Band, where you from? P-Band, get the membership, and I'll let you know. Get that membership, P-Band. And for all of you, if you don't know how to get that membership, in the channel, there's a click button that you could do. Yes, click join. You could join a Reaper Crew community, and you could be part of every stream possible in the private streams, short videos, and those videos. This is honestly, I can't take my lips off this thing. Over here is somebody laughing, baby. Zip clip. I was trying to get away from the eyes. What you think? I was trying to get away from the eyes. I'm going to tell you right now what I think. I'm going to tell you right now what I think. Horse number one. On to the first pole. Ready to break. And they're off. First pole. Get away from that snow. First pole. Laughing, baby. Day. Z clip. Get out of the way. And there we go. Get out that snow. What did I just do? I don't know what I just did. Point of the matter is, look. I can't understand, somebody says. Look, sometimes me reading the chat room doesn't specifically get me on topic We are off topic completely. I wanted to show you a fragrance. I don't even know if I'm going to show you the fragrance that I'm going to be wearing. But I'm going to say this over here. I'm going to just show you this. This over here is a fragrance that I created in honor of the blend that I like. And I'm going to move this a little bit far away because this is getting a little bit in my face. This is the fragrance that I currently blended with two of my fragrances that I tend to wear. If you're into fragrances and if it's wintertime, do that. It's a cool thing to do if you have like maybe 10 fragrances that you could maybe blend them. Now, my recommendation is get yourself one of these vials. And this goes for all of you men. It's a fun thing to do if you're not doing anything, if you're not working with wood, if you're not clapping some cheeks, if you're not cooking, if you're not cutting some vegetables, if you're not drinking beer, if you're not drinking whiskey, if you have no TV, my recommendation for some of you, get yourself some fragrances, 10 fragrances that you have. And I'm going to just show you 10 fragrances that you have. And this over here is a blend of two of them. Okay, blend of two of them. Now, what did I do and why you should do this? It's a fun thing to do, and sometimes it just comes out perfect. Yes, comes out perfect. And to me, it came out perfect. I blended two of my fragrances that I like to wear into this. I did a quarter of this vial of one of my fragrances that has a little bit of citrus, a little bit of musk, and a strong amount of musk. I also blended the rest of it, which was this other 75 part of it, with that nice lavender fragrance, with that nice, beautiful, almost blowing me away kind of fragrance. And I'm going to say this. This I've been wearing for the last 3 days. I haven't told you guys. The last 3 days I've been wearing this. In the chat room, double blades axe. Well, we have over here, we have a cutter. Shout out to all of you who have a cutter. I thought only ladies wear fragrances, gentlemen, laughing. If you're a real man, you wear a fragrance. Why do you wear a fragrance? Because real men, just like me, we all have a certain odor. Now, not all women like our odor, especially if we're sweaty. When I'm sweaty, I've been told that I have a smell to me, and it's nice. I don't know what that means, but when I smell myself when I'm sweaty, I can smell myself, and I can smell it. There's a certain musk that I leave off. If you're overweight, some of you are overweight and chubby, have a beard, right? If you're overweight, a fragrance can compliment you a ton. The good thing is that I'm in no way to say that I'm overweight, but I can tell you guys a fragrance. If you're overweight, if you're skinny, if you're well off, if you're ladies, I'm gonna say is ladies. I think the ladies should do the same thing. Get 2 fragrances you like, but the only way this works is if you get 2 fragrances that are light. You cannot get 2 strong fragrances and put them together. I'm going to say this right now. 2 fragrances that you like. One fragrance that I like over here and what I'm using is the Horov Triple X. I'm using Triple X, 25% of Triple X. And also I'm using 75% of this is Pour Homme del Caron. Del Caron. I'm going to sing it wrong. Caron. Anyways, the point of the matter is, you've seen me talk about it. And for some of you, I'm just going to say this. Let me see. There we go. You see me talk about it. Boom. Boom. There we go. Boom, boom. Those are it. Boom, boom. Can I put this over here? Boom. Yes, I can. The combo is beautiful. If you put this together, the combo is honestly beautiful. In the chat room, smoke, drink, no fragrances. You gotta wear a fragrance. Wear a fragrance. It complements the odor that I have with the stogie in my skin. It's just such a compliment. It's almost like you're walking around, like just literally just taking a shower with a little bit of dirtiness, with a little bit of musk, with a little bit of just your own body odor. It's a great thing. So these are the 2 that I blended. And I don't recommend any of you to get an expensive fragrance. This is for the men, the ladies too. Ladies, I'm going to say this right now. I like to kind of feel a little bit dirty. And most of the time, most of my fragrances that I like have a little bit of musk in them. And it just goes very good with the stogies that I smoke on a daily basis. Point of the matter is, this is the one that I blended in with our Zaharoff Triple X. Now, if you don't have Triple X and you want to buy a fragrance, buy yourself the Zaharoff Royale X. That should be plentiful, and it would work really good with this. Now, I'm going to say this. Right when you blend it, it's going to be 25% of the one that will complement this. And to me, I don't recommend some of you to buy this, but if you want to buy it, you could buy it. This is inspired by Tom Ford. I already told the guys many times before. Tom Ford is one of his favorite fragrances when he was growing up. Like this because of that. So this is literally just, it's a beautiful, clean. And then you get the dirtiness and the citrus and the muskiness of that Triple X Royale. If April can do me a favor in the chat room, drop in the chat room, okay? Drop in the chat room the website of Zaharoff. It would be great if you do that. Would be really great if you do that. But yes, this is exactly what I have to say about that one. This is so good. This is so good. I'm getting a little bit of a, my stogie has a little bit of a, there's a little bit of cherry, like a little cherry berry kind of a note on here in my stogie. It goes good with a coffee and with a whiskey that has, if you have any whiskey that has toasted flavors in them, like the Jack Daniels Toasted Barrel, is good. I recommend some of you to get that. If you give a Buffalo Trace, it would also be good. Here's a little bit of coffee that I'm going to have. Somebody just asked, what am I drinking? I'm drinking officially coffee. Bustelo coffee. Thank you so much, April. So for all of you, maybe you can't get this one. Right, maybe you can't get this one. But I would recommend all of you men. This goes for Bearded Viking. Bearded Viking, if there was one fragrance that I would recommend him. If you don't know Bearded Viking, he's one of our members. And he talked about me in his channel yesterday. Shout out to him. I would recommend him to have this. He works in his garage with wood. And he talked about us yesterday, how the channel is great, and he loves it. He loves when I cook. But sometimes in the morning, I want to give you something more than just cooking. And also, I want to be part of the chat room with all of you. Mainstreams, I tend to not look at the chat room as much. Okay? Somebody says, oof, que guapo. Over here, I got my bread up. I can buy whatever fragrance I want. There you go. Okay, so if you want to buy a fragrance, go to Zaharoff.com. The one is Royale X. Signature Royale X. It's going to be yellow, and it's going to be, it's just like a citrus bomb with a dirty musk. Now, for some of you that have beards, I don't have a beard. As a matter of fact, I don't really grow hair like some of you in your ass. I don't grow hair like that. As a matter of fact, I barely even have hair here in my, I barely have even hair on my chest. I don't grow a beard like some of you. I can grow a goatee, but I don't grow a lot of hair. My arms also, if you don't see my arms, I don't barely have any hair. I barely have any hair anywhere here, and the only hair I have in my face is my mustache. And I could grow a goatee, but I don't want a goatee. I think a goatee is just gonna make me look too mean, too mean. I'm not trying to look too mean for all of you. This is a live stream. I stream every day. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to entertain some of you and give you a good stream on every single day and maybe inspire some of you to get into some hobbies. Anything I like is what I like to show. I never show you the bad stuff. There's other channels that do show you anything, and bad it is what they like to show you. I don't like to show you that. Everything that I show you, it's gonna look bad on me. Any odds, somebody says, any odds. Man, there's so much ice out here. The snowstorm is no joke. 111 votes. Do you like winter snow? In the chat room, be part of the chat room. There's a poll in the chat room, 111 votes. Do you like the winter snow? Anyways, what I was telling you, you could take this anywhere. Ulysses. I like the name Ulysses. I think it's one of the most masculine names possible. When I was growing up, I had a baseball friend, and his father was undercover. He was an undercover cop. I was around a lot of law enforcement undercover cops. Growing up, playing sports, all of them, really, they were bad boys. Matter of fact, the movies of bad boys here in Miami actually were my friends' fathers. They were my friends' fathers. They were all undercover detectives in Miami. They all worked here in Miami. I'm not going to even say anything about Ulysses. Thank you so much, Ulysses, in the chat room. A great name. Ulysses was, I think, one of the most, whenever I grew up, forget about Dwayne Johnson, forget about all those names. Ulysses, one of the most baddest names possible. I remember my friend, he goes, yeah, my dad's name's Ulysses. What? Ulysses? Guy was like that guy was the king of all kings of Miami detectives, and we would see him sometimes in the dugout. He'd come up to us and say certain positive things. But the one time I remember going to his house was like a mansion. Think of the biggest Miami mansion you could think of with all the lights and the pool. And I was thinking, how the hell does he get all this money? This is insane. How does he get all this money? It's because Miami, back in the days, Miami was no joke, man. You don't know what the cops are doing, did you? You don't know. Over here. Somebody says in the chat room, are you in Miami? Shout out to shout out to the 305. Somebody says, I smoked a whole box of Romeo and Julietas in about 8 hours. I threw up. Who the hell does that? Who the hell does that? I had a friend called Caesar. My friend's father was like the biggest drug kingpin in Miami. I didn't know this. I only figured this out when he picked us up with the Hummer. And when I figured out that when my friend Caesar was growing up, he was turning into too much of a playboy. He had so much money, I don't understand how he got all the money. But come to find out, that's what it is. When you live in Miami, that's just what it is. Over here in the chat room, Miami has a lot of import, export money. Brick, I see you, Brick. Yes, they do. I think I've been around every possible person. I've been around the Cuban mob here in Miami. I've been around the Colombian gangsters. I've been around all of them. The Asian gangsters. There's Vietnamese gangsters out here that you don't know about. There's all of them. I've been around all of them. The Russians. The Russians are, man, those Russians here in Miami, ooh, they're no joke. Most of them live in North Miami. Those guys are no joke. Most of them own the clubs. I remember one guy, he owned a strip club. He was a Russian. He was very tall. He would always invite me. He says, "Hey, you come whenever you want. Come whenever you want. Everything's on the house." I would never go. It's just the opening for me to work for him or something. You know, sometimes those things are like that. Come over. Everything's free. You get everything you need. Over here in the chat room. Let me look at the chat room. Morning whiskey. Good to see you. Psychopath. Billy, are you a veteran of the U.S. Armed Forces? Woo! Shout out to the Delta Forces. If you don't know about the Delta Forces, well, you have to look them up. Shout out to the Delta Forces. Shout out to the Green Berets. Shout out to all the SEALs. Shout out to literally all the Navy. Shout outs to the USA. Huge shout outs to the U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Space Force. Battling the aliens over there on the moon. One thing that's very common, people don't believe that the Space Force is real. The Space Force is real. And when you find out that there's actually a program that has a lot of smart individuals in them that actually you don't know about, it'll blow you away. The Space Force. If there was ever a force out there that some of you guys don't believe in, will be the Space Force. But that is this or that, right? That is this or that. You guys are probably wondering, is this a mainstream? No, we're going to do a double stream today. Ask the questions you want in the chat room. Ask the questions you want in the chat room. Brick says, a lot of money in the space wars. There's a ton of money in the space wars, but nobody wants to talk about it because it's a little bit taboo. It's a little bit taboo. How do you tell somebody in this earth that goes to church every day, is a Christian, or maybe is a Catholic? How do you tell somebody that's very spiritual, somebody that's really religious, how do you sit them down and tell them, hey, humans aren't the only species in this world, you know? And then they say, yeah, no, there's monkeys, there's giraffes. I don't mean that. You can't talk to some people like that. You can't tell people the truth sometimes. There's a guy in, I think, Norway, Bosnia. He tends to watch our streams often. He has a channel, and this is another thing, too. Some of you probably know somebody like this. The guy has a channel, and he tends to come into this chat room often. Shout out to any of you trying YouTube and making YouTube your thing. My thing is, my community, I try to give you the best products and only the best products. And if it's not the best products, it looks bad on me. But there's other YouTubers that do anything for views. There's people that dance. There's people that break dance. There's people that prank other people. There's people that rage bait. There's people that do stupid things online, like drink a whole thing of soda in one shot, a whole thing of milk in one shot. There's people that do everything on YouTube. There's actually people that just act a part. There's people on YouTube that act a part. You know what it is to be hired by Disney World and have to talk to babies with a Minnie Mouse voice? That's crazy. There's people that are literally, they think they have to change their personality. You don't have to change your personality. Be you. That's the best thing. You're the only one in this world. You gotta embrace what you have. So, there's somebody in Norway, Bosnia, somewhere there, I don't know where. They watch your channel. And that one guy, he could literally make millions of views. All he have to show the world is the fact that he can't get some of the privileges that some of us other people can get. And some of you understand, if you're good looking, if you're attractive, if you're tall, if you're skinny, if you have a personality, you really get a lot of things compared to some of the other people that aren't too attractive. Some people like me, some people like you, some people like maybe celebrities, people in any of the people out here on YouTube, they want to see something different. And on YouTube, if I ever see a video that's different, I look at it for a little bit. If anything, I want to say to a person trying YouTube, be yourself, man. If you know that you're not attractive, show the people in the world that you're not attractive. Show the people in the world that, hey, man, I'm not attractive. This is what I have to deal with on a weekly basis. When I go to the mall, people don't want to talk to me. You know, I need somebody out there to at least make a channel that's not rage baiting, right? Don't be pranking people in the malls. Show the people that there's actually you're one of a kind. You're like a Dalmatian, man. Some people don't like Dalmatians. Why? Because Dalmatians are wild. Be you. Show the people that people don't want to come up to you. You know how many comments you're going to get. It's all right, it's all right, it's all right. You're number one. You're number one. Don't worry. People want to see things that are different. In the chat room, let me see over here. What's going on with you? You're selling colognes? No. I made a blend. I made a blend of this a couple days ago, and I've been wearing it for the last 3 days. The blend of one of my favorite 2 fragrances, and to me, it's perfect. In the chat room, Brick, looks like the stories of Ananaku might be a fact. I can't even tell you anything about that. Over here, somebody says in the chat room, I'm looking at the chat room. Have you seen the theory about something extracting some metals? I don't even know about metals extracting metals. All I know is that if there's one thing in this world that's very tritium. Okay, I'm just gonna say this off the bat. Tritium is very expensive. Creatures from this other world that are like us but smarter, they use tritium. I'm not going to say more of that. I'm not going to say tritium. It could be small like this, and it could be put into technology to activate a certain power. They use tritium. You can look that up. There was I think I told the guys about the story, didn't I? You want to hear the story? Let me know in the chat room. Do you want to hear the story? You want to hear the story? There's a story about an alien. We haven't got a super channel stream, so maybe I'm not going to even say it. But winter storm, maybe I should tell you the story. And our stogie is getting to the end. Oh, this is honestly good. You want to hear the story? You want to hear the story? My stogie is goddamn beautiful. Running out of this. A lot of people watching, you guys are amazing. Want to hear the story? In the chat room. The Broon Dude, I see you. Somebody says in the chat room, I'm a hot girl. You're my type of people. Thank you so much. Over here, bro. Somebody says, Stevie. Bro, dip your stogie in a Little Buffalo Trace whiskey. It's going to be incredible. It's not incredible. As a matter of fact, if you want to, check out tomorrow's stream. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow and infusing our whiskeys with our stogies. But you have to tune in tomorrow on the main morning stream. I'm going to give you double streams for all of you because it's winter. Winter storm. How many of you going through the winter storm? Let me know in the chat room. I will be infusing our stogies tomorrow with our whiskey. Whatever whiskey is that I want to infuse it with. And I know what I'm going to be doing. Ooh, that wind just turned it off big time. Over here, April says, I want to hear the story. Broon says, I'm from L.A. No winter here. There's winter all the time in L.A. Saturday vibes, Saturday vibes, somebody says in the chat room. There's always wintertime in LA. You know how much drugs those people use over there in LA? It's like wintertime all the time. Tell me they don't use drugs. It's a winter snowstorm every freaking weekend. I'm going to say this for all of you. April wants to hear the story. You want to hear the story? How many of you? How many of you want to hear the story? How many of you want to hear the story? I do know it's the morning time. Good to see Matt in the chat room. How many of you want to hear the story? Hit that like button. We're 65 minutes in. Let's hear it. Brick says, let's hear it. Okay, here's the story. I vote yes. 135 votes. 135 votes. Do you like winter snow? Okay, let me tell you this story. So there's a story. Dale, April says. Here we go. Let me tell you the story. So there's a story from a soldier that they were transporting a large amount of stuff. When they were transporting a large amount of stuff, one of their vehicles, they had an issue with one of their vehicles. This was I believe somewhere by Area 51. I believe somewhere by Area 51. Point of matter is, I'm not going to give you the exact location, but they were in very much rocky, sandy, almost desert-like terrain, almost like Area 51. They were transporting some stuff to base, one of the bases that they needed to go to, and these are all the soldiers. All the soldiers were transporting in 2 vehicles. In this time they were transporting everything. There was one car, I believe it was one of the Humvees or something. I think it was a Humvee, I think it was. They were having issues with one of the Humvees. So most of them had to get out of the car, get out of the Humvee and go to the other car, and they're going to retrieve that car, go back, whatever. Point of the matter is they're heading to the base where they need to drop off some of the stuff. It was base to base, so the other base wasn't too far away. And as they're driving, this is in the sand in the desert. They were driving. Something hit the driver in the head, like a thought in the head. And the thought was something random, like, look over here, help. He completely just forgot about whatever it is that he was thinking about. Now, I'm going to tell you, this is not quote by quote, so just listen to me clearly. Shout out to all of you, drinks up. In that time, there was a window of about 2 minutes in that he heard that thought in his head. He saw a guy very far away. The guy far away, he looked like a guy that literally, a soldier that was with him. But the only thing that he started noticing is it was a one suit. The guy was one suit. He was bald. And his skin color was a little bit pale, almost paler than Mark Zuckerberg. You know Mark Zuckerberg, or Jeff Bezos. You know Jeff Bezos is bald. He was a little bit more pale than that. More wide, super wide. Almost to the point that the guy was blue if you really looked at him hard. He started driving, he stopped. The guy was maybe so far, if I remember correctly, about 15 to 10 feet away. He stopped the vehicle, and as soon as he stopped the vehicle, the gentleman over there, which was in the suit, again, bald, he looked like a regular guy. From far away, he looked like a regular guy. So the story here, I'm going to give you the rest of the story. But for all of you, do me a favor, hit that like button if you like what you hear. Winter storm. I'm giving you a real story for some of you to know that real does happen. There we go. You guys hit that like button. Thanks so much. As soon as he stopped, the guy officially turned completely towards him. He was facing basically 12 o'clock, and the guy in the vehicle, which was the guy that we're going to give you the story about, he was in the sixth position in the back. So really, he turned to the 3 o'clock 3 o'clock position. He started turning, and boom, he's turning straight up. Jay, welcome to the membership club. Jay, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Jay, thank you so much for renewing your membership. Thank you so much. JJ in the chat room. Now, they're 10 feet across each other. There was about 6 men, 6 soldiers in the vehicle. And the 2 soldiers in front were kind of wondering what the hell was happening. The guys in back didn't know what the hell was happening, what they're seeing. There's a guy in the middle of the desert. There's basically a desert. They're wondering, just let's help him out. The driver had a thought, complete thought. And the thought was, hey, can you help me out? I need your help. There was no transaction of words, literally, no moving of mouths, nothing. The driver got out of the vehicle. Everybody in the vehicle says, hey, be careful with the guy, this and that, comes out of the vehicle. Now, driver comes out, and as soon as he comes out, the soldier that he thought was lost wasn't a soldier. The man or the being or whatever it is, as the students, he said something. He got a little bit closer, but he didn't get as close as you might think, face to face, almost about 10 feet, 10 feet away to 7 feet away. It wasn't face to face. It was really a little bit further away. There's a little bit of a gap and you really couldn't touch the man. The guy was in a whole one-piece suit. The one-piece suit wasn't even... It didn't look military, but it kind of looked military from far away. One-piece suit. It was, you couldn't even see a zip on it. It was just a one-piece suit. His head, his hands, you could see his hands. You couldn't see his feet. He was wearing something on his feet. It was one-piece suit. And as soon as the driver number 1, obviously, passenger was still in the vehicle, was about to get out of the vehicle, but for something happened. He didn't get out of the vehicle. Driver asks him, and he goes, is there any way I can help you out? To the man. The man responded without even talking. The weird part is there was no feeling of feeling any nerves. There was no nervousness. There was no, what's the word? There was no adrenaline rush. There was no scared feeling. There was just a feeling of there's another guy that needs help and let's help him out. The driver, as soon as the driver got a response telepathically, there was something weird and he felt a little bit of weird presence. He kind of started noticing some of the features of the man, which was about 7 feet away. He noticed that his ears seemed to be almost like he was in combat. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, yes, kind of seems like if you see somebody that has cauliflower ears are mainly MMA players, MMA fighters, or fighters in general. They get swung in the mat. I have a little bit of cauliflower in one of my ears because I used to fight. One of my ears over here, a little bit of cauliflower, just a little bit. And the guys that fight all the time tend to get cauliflower ears, and they're bubbled all around. And both of the ears are usually just, you're going to see it looks like cauliflower. So he thought that. But then when he started observing, he noticed that the ear was almost not even there. It was almost like it was flat, like he had no ear. Then he started noticing other features of the man, which was a little bit very weird. One of the main features that the driver noticed about the man in the one-piece suit was that he was a little bit more pale than he was when he drove closer to him. He was almost blue. It wasn't to the point that it was blue, but he was almost like white blue. If I can explain to you a color, the color I can say is, because this is what, it was almost like a shimmering pale white. Shimmering pale white is what the guy said, something like that. And the one other thing that he noticed, another feature that he noticed that kind of creeped him out was his eyes. His eyes were not pitch black, but they were bigger than the normal size human being. And when I mean bigger, if you don't know how the Japanese people tend to have their eyes, there's a thing in Japan, or maybe in Korea too, maybe it happens in Korea, mainly in Japan or Korea. There's women that like to enhance their eyes to make them bigger. So their eyes tend to be a little bit more bigger and more almost almond type, or almond. His eyes were bigger than that. And one thing that creeped him out at that point wasn't the ears, it wasn't the pale blue skin that he noticed. It was the fact that his hands were bigger than normal. There were bigger hands than normal, and his eyes were literally bigger, a lot bigger than you can think of. He also noticed the color of his eyes were very, very strange. They almost had like a certain kind of a tint in them that made it very, very, very unique. By the way, I'm going to light this up before I tell you the rest of the story. The gentleman that had the one piece told the driver mentally, hey, I need some help. I'm stuck. One of my vehicles needs a little bit of care. Can you help me out? Can you take me somewhere? Or maybe do you have something that I need? The driver spoke. He spoke with his mouth. He said, how can I help you? What vehicle is it? And this is where it got really weird. The gentleman in the one-piece suit said, he didn't even say much. He said, over there, my vehicle's over there. He pointed to the vehicle. The vehicle was all white. It was a vehicle with no wheels. It was literally, it looked like a all white. Think of, you know, the Apple AirPods. Think of the Apple AirPods. It has a charger. And the charger is all white. It's almost shiny white, almost like if I can say, if I can say clearly, so you guys know, an ostrich egg. You know what an ostrich egg looks like? Okay, think of an ostrich egg. Think of an ostrich egg, but very, very white. Basically, like an AirPod, an Apple AirPod charger, and it was laying over there, basically about 100 yards away, he said. 100 yards away. The guy turned around again and got closer to him. As he started getting closer to him, the driver looked back at his soldiers, and his soldiers were in the car, but they weren't saying nothing. They were just looking. Weren't saying nothing. They were just looking. The driver wanted to go ask something to his guys inside, and the telepathic guy ended up telling the driver, don't worry, they're good. I just want to know if you can help me out because I need one thing, and the one thing I need is tritium. Do you have tritium? The soldier, which was the driver, said, no, I don't have tritium, but I can find you some if you need it. Over here, Jay, thank you so much, Jay. Let's get a pour going for this awful under 30 degrees weather. Jay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jay. I'm currently finishing this up over here. Boom, boom. For all of you watching, get yourself a nice little pour. Have yourself something. Jay, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. I really appreciate it. I hope you're enjoying this story. It's a true story of a lot of soldiers that interacted with somebody that might have not been from this world. Point of matter is, Jay, thank you so much for the $20 super chat and the huge appreciation to Beans, Brick, April in the chat room. Over here. I'm going to say this. Super chat, super chat, super chat. Welcome to the membership club. Thank you so much for the super chat, Jay. On this interaction, tritium was the only thing on the driver's mind. Tritium. Why would this guy need tritium? Now, if you don't know what tritium is, I told you at the beginning of the stream, tritium, it could be as small as this. Tritium is used by a lot of military. A lot of the government uses it for a lot of bigger things, projects. Tritium could be used to power big things. What big things? Well, you have to look that up. Point of matter is, the gentleman in that one-piece suit, which had almost no ears, big eyes, looked like a human, stand tall like a human, had feet like a human, just bigger hands, bigger hands than me, a little bit more of a bluish tint, pale skin, had no wrinkles on him, and literally he asked again. He goes, "If you can't get me tritium, it's okay, but I need tritium because my vehicle doesn't run and I'm missing tritium. I lost a little bit of tritium and I need it to power my vehicle." The soldier, this is when the soldier gets a little bit crazy. He starts going and thinking about things to do. But now he's starting to think of moving. He couldn't move. He was frozen. He couldn't move. He couldn't move. He literally couldn't. He was frozen. His feet were frozen. He couldn't move. He told the gentleman, the soldier told the gentleman, he goes, "I could go to the base. If you want to come with us to the base, you could come with us to the base and see if we got tritium." Guy couldn't move. He wanted to move to run to the car and ask the boys in the car, but he couldn't move. But he had to respond with something. The guy in the suit, which was some kind of being, he said, "It's okay, no problem. Don't worry. Don't worry. Do not worry." As soon as that happened, the soldier turned around, was able to turn around. As soon as he turned around, he got into his car. When he got into his car, he looked up. When he looked up, the gentleman was gone. The gentleman was gone. The gentleman had literally, from the point that he had walked all the way to the car, all the way to the Humvee or the vehicle, the gentleman was gone. He sat down. He looked over there where the vehicle was supposedly abandoned and on the floor, damaged. When he looked over there, the gentleman had already been close to the vehicle. The time frame that the guy literally turned around to get into the vehicle, the guy was literally already on the damn vehicle over there. He was already by his, whatever it is, his ship, his vehicle, whatever it is. He was already over there. What happened to that time? What happened to that time frame? As soon as he gets in the car, the passenger tells him, "Hey man, what the hell happened?" The driver goes, "You don't see the guy over there?" He goes, "Yeah, I see the guy, but what happened? I just don't know what happened." The guys in the back, they were frozen. They didn't even know what just happened. The guys in the back, they were asking the driver, "Hey, what's going on? Why do we stop?" The driver already had a feeling that there was something very weird about to happen. So, fight or flight, you know what fight or flight is. If you guys don't know what fight or flight is if you get into a big scenario. It doesn't matter if there's a knife or a gun. If you get into a big scenario where you're about to get kidnapped, or maybe there's a big scenario that you get scared. If there's ever a big scenario as a human, if you're a woman or a man, fight or flight is that moment that you have a little bit of an adrenaline rush, and that adrenaline rush affects your mind state, and also not only affects your mind state, your mind will be in fight or flight. Fight or flight is the moment that you officially do things that you're not supposed to. You just do things to do them to get out of the situation. That's what fight or flight is. Most of the time, all soldiers know what fight or flight is, but sometimes they don't know how to control the fight or flight. And fight or flight is a big thing that goes for anybody. Women, kids, adults. The most masculine men could get that feeling of fight or flight. It's just a strong adrenaline rush that controls your nervous system, and your nervous system completely messes up your brain just a tad bit to the point that you might not be able to make the right decisions. So fight or flight is real. The driver had that fight or flight moment, and he booked it. He said he didn't want to be there anymore. He didn't even know what the hell was going on. He wanted to leave. He had a feeling of he had a horrible, weird feeling, but the one thing he wanted to do is go back to the base. He didn't think of anything else but just go back to the base. As he's driving away, he sees the gentleman. And the gentleman's looking at him from, I think it was 100 yards away, looking at him from 100 yards away. And the gentleman, all the soldiers, are just driving by. They're like, "Hey, man, who the hell's that? Who the hell's that?" They're driving away in the sand, in the desert. When they got to the base, they had to report what had happened to them. When they got to the base, they reported everything that had happened to them. When they got to the base, all the soldiers had to tell every part of the story. The guys in the back couldn't say anything about anything because they didn't remember anything that happened. The only one that remembered anything was the passenger and the driver. And the driver's the one that was outside of the vehicle that saw everything. He remembered everything to the part that he had to come back to the vehicle. And that part, it was a certain time span that he literally lost. Okay, that is a story that some of you, I'm going to say this, that's a story that's going to be with me forever. I'll never forget it. I could almost relive it in my head. It's a crazy story, and it's something that some of you should understand. Nobody's going to say a story like that, and it's not true. It's just what happens. I know many of you are. It's wintertime for some of you, and for some of you, you guys are enjoying the story. Over here, I saw you were live yesterday. Somebody says, and couldn't chat. When's your next stream? April. The next stream today is going to be tonight. Okay. Tonight. Oh, over here, Bearded Viking. Good to see Bearded Viking. Good to see Bearded Viking. Shout out to Bearded Viking. If you don't know Bearded Viking is one of our great members. He's been watching us for a long time, and he enjoys our cooking. I like to cook everything. You see me cook cow tongue. You see me cook whole fish. You see me cook literally shrimp, all type of shrimp. You see me cook all type of meats, tri-tip. I've cooked brisket. I've cooked, the brisket was amazing when I cooked this hard pork butt, Boston butt, ribeye, filet mignon. I think the worst thing you could cook is filet mignon. For some of you that do not, filet mignon is overrated. Filet mignon is like buying the most expensive Mercedes possible. You know that Mercedes is gonna, inflation's gonna get to it, right? Over here, bearded Viking. Shout out to Bearded Viking. Bearded Viking, there we go, Bearded Viking. Shout out to Bearded Viking. Thank you so much for giving me a shout out on your channel. Huge appreciation. I really appreciate it. Because of him, we got 15 new members of his that like cooking and like a little bit of talking. And for the morning streams, I'm trying to give you double streams every single day since it's winter time. I want to give you more entertainment, and our goal is to at least get to this year 100,000 subscribers. That's my goal. You guys know I'm trying to be organic, so to be organic, you have to really be on the stream. In 2026, I finally showed my face. You see my face. You can see more of my interactions. And if you have a membership, remember you can see those private live streams. And for some of you, I'm going to say this. Ribs, we've done ribs. Beer Viking, thank you so much. I hope some of you do know. Beer Viking is going to make us a humidor very soon. He has all the time in the world. He's going to make us a humidor. I'm going to unwrap it here live on the live stream. I'm going to be blown away because there's somebody that actually watches us. And he has a channel. And the fact that I'm going to be opening that up and I'm going to see it, I'm going to fill it up with stogies. The fact is, having a personal humidor that somebody actually made will be honestly really insanely fantastic. And Bearded Viking, if you don't know Bearded Viking is a specialist with cutting a lot of wood and making a lot of products with wood. He uses all type of woods. I can't tell you all the type of woods there are in the world, but if you want to know, he does have a channel, and his channel is all about literally making anything out of any type of wood. He knows all the type of woods. He knows all the measurements possible. To me personally, I could make a birdhouse. I could make the easiest things possible. But as a man myself, I like to show. I'm an entertainer. And I personally going to say, I don't like making Legos. I'd rather pay somebody to do the Lego piece for me. And I just want to say, I really thank Bearded Viking for thinking of us. And I hope he enjoys all the streams that we do. Sometimes my energy is not all the times here, but remember, I'm a human. This is my personality. And I can't be all the time telling you that I have a super strong energy every stream, but I try my best to give you the best energy I can, because this is a live stream for all of you. And I do know this is not easy, right? It's not easy. But the good thing is, I'm not super ugly. That's good. I'm not boring. That's good. And what's the other thing? I think that's all it is, right? Now, if I was ugly and I was boring, I don't know if I would stream. Maybe there would be a place for me, right? Showing the world how I don't know. There's a world for everything. Even if you're crazy, there's a world for everything. As a matter of fact, if you have a super pitched voice, like if your voice is like Disney World pitched voice, you know how many people would subscribe to your channel? Just show toys, kid toys, review kid toys, have your little peaky voice. You could get a bunch of subscribers. Over here, Ron Lowe. Thank you so much, Ron Lowe. Ron Lowe. He says over here, Ron Lowe. And Brick says in the chat room, I can make wooden bridge that uses no nails or anything to hold it together other than friction. Is called the Da Vinci bridge. You know what? I'm gonna say this. If you know how to make that with glue, huge kudos to you. Glue, I don't like using glue, man. You know one thing I don't like? Beard Viking, straight up. I'm gonna say it straight up, Beard Viking. I don't like glitter. I can't stand glitter. Glitter? Woo! Can't stand glitter. I remember I used to date some Victoria's Secret models, beautiful women. And one of the things that I couldn't stand them doing, they put a little bit of glitter, a little bit right here, boom, or they would put some lip gloss that has glitter. I can't stand that. It looks pretty, but I can't stand glitter. And then they put a little bit of moisturizer that has that glitter. I can't stand that glitter. I can't stand glitter in general. If I ever go to a kid's party and I have to make some kids something, if there's glitter there, it'll be my worst nightmare. If you put me in prison and you want to torture me in prison, there's two things you need to do, okay? Two things you need to do. Put cockroaches in the prison cell with glitter. I'd say it's over. It's over for me. It's over for me. I'm going to say this. You could put the most annoying woman in a prison cell with me. In what do they call it? What do they call it in prison? Like the hole. They put you in the hole where it's all dark. Right, it's all dark, and there's like a little light. I've seen it on the Discovery Channel. There's a little light. If you put a woman there that's the most annoying woman in the world with the most, I'm just saying, gentlemen, you know what it is. There's the prettiest women in the world. All of you know, and shout out to the ladies out there that know what I'm talking about. The most in this world, the most diabolical thing in this world, and all of us gentlemen, all the women know too. Shout out to April Neal, she knows. One of them worst solitary. There goes somebody say solitary. Yes, solitary. One of the worst things a man can officially, the worst thing possible a man can literally have to deal with is one of the most beautiful women in this world talking with a pitchy, screechy voice. That is one of the worst things. I don't care if there's a car that your belt has a certain sound. I don't care if there's scratch. You scratch some chalkboards. Most men do not like a very pitchy, high-pitched voice from women. If it's the most attractive woman in the world, it don't matter. That is the most diabolical sound possible. We rather hear a demon. We rather hear a demon screaming in our ear real weird things. We rather hear a crazy dude screaming in our ears. But I'm just gonna say this: I just don't like glitter, man. Glitter, holy crap! I don't like glitter. Damn, I don't like glitter at all. I could hear a baby screaming all day. No problem. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore. Let's I don't want anybody to feel bad. I know there's going to be a woman out here that's very pretty. Shout out to the blonde ladies and the brunettes that are very pretty. Over here, April Neal, send you a glitter shirt. That's the worst thing possible to send me. A glitter shirt. Somebody says over here, a retired youngin. So you don't like glitter? I can't stand glitter. Glitter, you can't get rid of it. You take a shower. You could peer pressure me with a peer pressure hose. The next day, I'm still going to find glitter on me. I'm just still gonna find glitter. And the worst thing is, it's just there, just there. It's like the most smallest. That's what bothers me. Another thing also that bothers me. Poof! If I drop glass, oh my lord, glass also. Open it on the stream. Open all the glitter. Oh hell nah! Glitter shirt. Ooh-wee. Glitter shirt. Ooh-wee. Hell no. Hell no. There was a movie called Home Alone. You guys know, most of you know the movie Home Alone. One of the worst parts of the movie, if you guys think that one of the worst parts of the movie is where the iron hits the guy in the head, a hot iron hits the guy in the head, you're wrong. That's not the worst part. If you thought one of the worst parts in the Home Alone movie, we're talking about the Home Alone movie. Remember when the two characters, they tried to rob Kevin's house? Well, in the Home Alone movie, if some of you never seen it because you live in Europe or you live in Bosnia, in the Home Alone movie, Home Alone, yes, Home Alone, back in the days, one of the best Christmas movies ever. In the Home Alone movie, Kevin, which was the main actor, it was a kid, main actor in the movie. He was left at home, and his family had left him, and Kevin had to literally brace his opportunity to be home alone. But what thing he didn't notice is there was two suckers. They were trying to rob his house. They knew that he was home alone, and they tried to break in. In that movie, his name is Kevin. Kevin literally made every door, every possible way in the house to be almost what's the word? A booby trap. Kevin booby trapped every part of the house in that movie. One of the things that he did was put paint on the floor for the guy to slip and paint to fall on the guy. There was another part that he electrified one of the guys, one of the robbers, and that was one of the best parts. He electrified one of the robbers. The robber just got electrified. He got electrified so much you could see his skeleton. It was funny. There was another part that a tarantula got on to. It was a tarantula, which Kevin's brother had a tarantula. He took the tarantula and he threw it on to one of the robbers. That wasn't bad. There was an iron that fell on the guy's head and literally fanned the guy's head so hard that he had a whole mark on his head. There was everything possible, anything you could think of happened in that trap. To get into the house, you literally had to just pass those things to get in, to get Kevin, right? But the worst part of the goddamn movie is, and I know some of you don't know, but the worst part to me in the movie is the part that contained glitter and glass. To me, that was the worst part. I almost couldn't look. It's still in my head, and it was a long time ago, right? This was the 90s. In this part, I think you guys know when I tell you guys, I don't like glass, and I don't like glitter. There was this one part that I said, this can't be, and I don't want to see this, but I have to see it. Kevin ended up putting, yes, Kevin Makowski, what is his name? Makowster. Kevin Makowski. Anyways, I forgot his last name. Anyways, at Home Alone, one of the worst parts to me, I'm going to say it's real bad. One of the worst parts to me was the part that Kevin put the decorations, the ball decorations of Christmas under the window. He put an array of goddamn Christmas ornament balls under the damn window with an open window so that the robber would walk in and step on all the damn son of a gun Christmas ornaments that were damn explosive. They had glitter and they had goddamn glass, right? It's basically glass ornaments. He put a bunch of them. When the robber, which robber number one was shorter. His name is Joe Pesci. Number two was a taller gentleman, which he does art on YouTube nowadays in 2026. There's art on YouTube. He does like big statues and stuff. Pretty cool of him to do that. If you're retired and you have millions of dollars, what a cool thing to do. Artwork, just like Bearded Dragon. I'm a Bearded Viking. Bearded Viking. We can have to say it. Bearded Viking is retired, right? You should be retired, and he's just enjoying his life on his live streams and making wooden products because it's fun. Anyways, robber number two ended up jumping into the house, and in the house, the whole floor had those Christmas ornaments, and every time he stepped on them, it was like he's stepping on some egg ornaments. They were blowing up. I can't. I'm just thinking about it. It just bothers me. It's a horrible feeling stepping on Christmas ornaments. This is why I'm going to say this. This is why I don't have no Christmas ornaments. I don't goddamn put no Christmas story in my house. I haven't put a Christmas tree in a long time. I'm probably going to do that eventually, but I'm not doing that anytime soon. The worst possible thing is a Christmas ball blowing up in your feet. And in that movie, that was one of the worst. I know you guys will know, and you can't, if you have to take out those pieces of shard from your feet, it's the worst thing possible. You're probably wondering, how would you know? I've had urchins. I've stepped on urchins. In my feet have had urchins. What is the needles? The needles of the urchins, the sea urchins. So I live in Miami, so you know what it is. I stepped on some urchins. You know the urchins that they sell in the sushi places. Well, I stepped on some of them. I think early 2000s. I was going to catch some lobsters, and I was going to catch some aquarium fish on the floor, coming back on the rocks. I would have to come up the reef, and coming up some of the reef, there was certain rocks that I would have to position my feet on, and some of the rocks, they have urchins, small urchins here in Key West. If you go to Key West or Key Largo or any part of South Florida, there is a lot of ocean, and you will find, if you go closer to the Keys, you will find a lot of different animals. You'll find underwater, you'll find blue crabs, you'll find lobsters, sharks, barracudas, you'll find eels. There's a lot of eels. You'll find stingrays, a ton of stingrays. You can find stingrays to the T, turtles, all type of turtles, octopus, a ton of different type of species of octopus. And one day I was in the Keys trying to get some lobster. I invited two of my friends to come with me, and we went lobster hunting. And when we went lobster hunting, there was a certain rock that I had to step up to get up to the surface. And every time I did that, I would feel a little bit of something in my feet. Now, at the time, I was wearing basically shoes to help out so that I don't step on anything really, really deep. On the third time that I went back in to get some lobsters, so my friend ended up getting some lobsters, I ended up encountering a silver-tipped shark. The silver-tipped sharks are not even a joke when they're smaller, and this is for some of you that do not know. Silver-tipped sharks here in Key West, they aren't very aggressive, but the only time that they're very aggressive is when they're younger. The younger silver-tip or black-tip sharks, black-tip sharks, they tend to be more aggressive when they're smaller. So if they're like 6 feet, this is not 6 feet, but if they're bigger 6 feet, the smaller they are, the younger they are, the more hungry they are, and they try to bite onto anything. It don't matter what it is. They bite on anything. If they see an octopus that's big, they go for it. If they see a lobster, go for it. Anything that's big, they tend to go for it if they're younger. The bigger the shark, the more they're not going to bother you. But when the younger ones, they tend to go for you. It don't matter how big you are, they're going to go for you. So I saw the shark, and the shark was gunning for me. The shark was gunning for me. The shark was gunning for me, man. Anyways, I'll tell you the rest of the story. The shark was gunning for me, and the first thing I did was the black tip shark was gunning for me. I was in the water. The water was at least it was very deep, but I was at the shore already. It was gunning for me, and the one way I pushed it away was I had two things on me. I had a net to put the lobsters in, and then I also had a pick. The pick actually helped out for me to get the distance from the shark. The shark was pretty big, but it wasn't as big as an adult shark. So what I was doing was I was picking at his nose. I was picking at his nose in this bottom area to boost him away, but I didn't really. You don't have to hammer them. All you have to do is use that to officially move the face away so that it knows where it's going to lose itself a little bit. So I pushed it away a little bit. And it was helping out, but it would go around and still come back. It would like little come back like it was like if it had rabies. I was getting to the shore, and remember, I was feeling something earlier when I was going to the rock area to really step up to out of the water. And on this moment, I wasn't thinking it. This was fight or flight moment. Only thing I was thinking of was getting the lobster picker. I was putting it back of me so it didn't grab me by my calf or my leg. So I was making sure to go like that so that if I do hit it, at least I hit it so it moves away. And as soon as I put my foot up in current rocks, I felt something weird. I was like, I hope it's not what I think it is. I thought it was a shark, but it wasn't a shark. I put my other foot up. I grabbed myself, and when I grabbed myself, this is when I knew there was something wrong. I grabbed myself on the certain rock, and when I grabbed myself on the certain rock, I blotched a whole what is it called? An urchin spine right in my hand, and I could feel it. It stings most of the time. If you don't know what it feels like when you get stung by an urchin, it feels like if you ever get pinched by a catfish. It's almost the feeling of getting pinched by a bee. Almost like a bee, because there's almost like a little bit of poison. It stings, it's strong sting, and it heats up your hand or wherever it is. So I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling heat already. I already knew it was a bad idea, and I just poked it out. And while that's happening, I poked it out, and I forgot that the shark was in back of me. And then I can see the shark. The shark is literally out of the water, trying to grab. Like if somebody had put some chum, like if somebody put some chum, the shark was coming out and it was trying to grab me. So I pulled, and I don't give a damn if there was an urchin that I just grabbed. I just grabbed whatever it is, and I just pulled myself out. But when I pulled myself out, my 2 feet were literally, I literally stepped on. There was a pile of urchins. These urchins were like red, purple. And when I got out, I still can see the shark. I got out. I'm on the floor looking. Literally, I have the rocks. The rocks. My feet were literally on the top of the rocks. I could see the shark still trying to catch. And the shark is small, black tip shark. You can tell black tip shark. So what I did was I just pushed it away with the thing I had, and it went like that, and it just flew away. It just flew away. It's like they just push away, and it just boom flew away. When I looked at my feet seemed like they were fine, but my hand wasn't fine. I took out some of the spines, and as I'm starting to walk, this is a while ago. I'm starting to walk. I start to feel some heat in my legs. I was like, why do my I didn't want to look down because I thought I got bit by the shark. What happens is sometimes if a shark bites you, they can leave some teeth in you, and when they leave some teeth in you, some of the flesh is going to be gone too. So I didn't want to look down, but I kept on walking. and I couldn't walk anymore. I said, I gotta stop for a second. So my buddies were coming out of the water. They're like, "What the hell happened? I saw you struggling. I saw a shark. You got bit? You got bit?" I got one of the buckets that we were using. I flipped them. I used it like a seat. I looked down in the back of my Achilles, and under my foot, I had urchin spines. The urchin spines were all the way inside my foot, inside the back of my foot. There was a total of, give or take, maybe 10 right into my foot. So my friends were like, "Shit, you having some in your hand?" "Yeah, I know." I took them out. One of my friends had a plier. He didn't have anything else. He just had a plier. So what I did was I used a knife and I used a plier to take some of them out. But some of them actually still were stuck in me. And driving back home was a horrible feeling. My feet felt so hot. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I figured that most of that would just come out, right? When I got home, I was able to clean it up. The point of the matter is, let's get to the point here. Point of the matter is, I couldn't take out any of those pieces that broke off in my Achilles, and in my Achilles they stuck in there for about a whole year. It's crazy to say that maybe I could have gone to the hospital, but the point of the matter is, the reason why they stuck into my foot for that year is because I figured they were going to come out after a week. I thought they were going to just come out. I didn't go to the hospital for it. They ended up coming out by themselves naturally. But if you ever do interact with any animals, remember, try to go to a hospital. Try to go to a hospital. They ended up coming out little by little. I only had like 2 or 3 pieces that were stuck in my foot. And I remember that the month went by. I was like, whoa, shit. Most of the hole healed, but whatever piece that I couldn't take out is stuck in there. And for the whole year, I couldn't feel it. But it did. Eventually, it just faded off. Your body naturally not only absorbs all of that, but it destroys any piece that you might have in you. So for any of you that ever have any issues, go to the hospital. But just know that if you do have any objects in you, usually they do dissolve little by little. They will dissolve, and after that year, it was gone. But I do recommend some of you, definitely, if you go to Key West and you're going lobster hunting, be careful going lobster hunting. Don't expect to be safe all the time. Another thing, too, if you're wearing a chain, take off your chain. If you're wearing a gold chain, silver chain, take off your gold or silver chain. Barracudas, if you come to South Florida, if you go to Key West, or you go to the Keys in general, if you go hunting for lobsters, you even go fishing in the water, never wear anything shiny. Barracudas tend to go for shininess. There's always been a story in Key West, down south, that there was a man one time, he was fishing. I guess it was a tale. And the tale goes like this. It was a man, he was a very much of a professional. But the guy was so professional in fishing that he could fish anywhere. And one day he decided to go spearfishing, and in his adventure spearfishing, he completely forgot. And one of the main things that he forgot was that he was wearing a necklace. He was wearing a small little shiny necklace. And the story goes that this man was such a professional that he literally didn't even have to go scuba diving. He didn't barely get in the air to get his fish. But the one thing that he forgot on that day was to take off his necklace. What ended up happening to him was there was a barracuda that had caught the side of a shiny, shiny object. And one of his friends, the story goes that one of his friends was the one that saw everything. And that's how the tale started. The guy got bit completely and pulled on his neck. He ended up passing away, but it was because of that shiny, shiny necklace. And that goes to all the fishermen. All the fishermen knew about this. This was a long time ago, and it's always been a tale that you don't wear shiny objects in South Florida. If you're going into Key West, fishing, if you're going deep down, deep, or even if you're going on the shore, even if you're going into the beach, never go into the beach. I don't give a damn if it's South Beach. I don't give a damn if it's any beach in Miami. Never go into the beach with anything shiny. You never know what kind of animal will find that shininess, some kind of food, like a silver or something, and then just bite you. So the guy passed away, and it was a story that everybody knows, and everybody tells his tale so that nobody or everybody remembers never to wear silver chains or anything that shines in the water. For all of you watching, we're at 114 minutes on the stream. Over here, a runner says mini lobster season is amazing. Mini lobster season is nice. It's a nice one. Over here, somebody says in the chat room, yes, is that a load of bearing wall behind you? This is a fence. This is a fence. Over here, for all of you, comment in the chat room if you haven't already. Be part of the chat room. Don't forget, always subscribe if you haven't. Over here in the chat room, El Capo Primo. He says, Reaper, have you ever tried rattlesnake or gator? Alligator is great. Alligator's great. Alligator tail is what we have here in South Florida. If you're native, natives know about the kangaroo. Natives also know about the gators. If you ever have alligator, I'm just going to say this just for anybody that wants to know. Natives over here and everybody here in South Florida, there's a couple different foods that are weird. One of the main foods is alligator. Number 2 is frog. A lot of people like to have that frog leg. I don't know about that frog leg. I can't tell you it's good. I don't want to tell you because I don't like catfish myself. But a lot of people like alligator. And alligator tastes like, I'm going to tell you what it tastes like. Alligator tastes like chicken, salty chicken. That's all it tastes like. So for some of you, think of let me tell you what think of Kentucky Fried Chicken, popcorn chicken. Okay, Kentucky Fried Chicken, popcorn chicken. This is what alligator tastes like. Okay, let me tell you. Think of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, popcorn chicken, with a little bit more saltiness. And you probably wonder what kind of saltiness, like the saltiness that would Popeyes. You know, Popeyes has a certain kind of a chicken. The chicken's a little bit salty, but it's good. Think of something like that. That's what alligator tastes like. If you want to know, there you go. Alligator tastes like Popeyes popcorn chicken, basically like that, but a little bit salty. Over here, definitely not far from each other. You can ask me whatever in the chat room, okay? So far on the stream. Jay, thank you so much for the super chat. Bearded Viking, thank you so much for the super chat. You guys can ask me anything. If you want to in the chat room, I'll try to respond to you. But this fragrance is... This fragrance, if you go to Zerhov.com, Royale X, for some of you that like to smell dirty but clean, it is a great one to wear. I'm gonna spray this on one time. That is insane. That is insane, strong, and just it's such a good. It's such a good smell. Over here in the chat room. Cap, alligator tastes like combination of pork and chicken. Well, you can't really say pork and chicken because I cook pork all the time. And pork to me, it just, pork is a little bit, if I can say, pork is juicy. That's the word that I can say. Pork is juicy. Can you make pork tough? Yes, you can make pork tough. Maybe the only thing I can say for somebody to comment in the chat room, pork is a little bit tough. So maybe you could say that, but the taste of pork, definitely not. We could just say, somebody just say it in the chat room, like chicken and pork. Alligator has the texture of pork that's a little bit tough, a little bit chewy at times, but it tastes like salty chicken. What it tastes like. I've had so much alligator. I used to have alligator every weekend. Every weekend. What kind of beer did I have with alligator? I used to have alligator with with some of my native friends. I used to have Alligator with some of my native friends. We used to have a Spanish beer or Coors Light. Coors Light is what I used to have. There you go, Coors Light. What I used to have with Alligator. Most of my native friends would have what would they have? There's some cheap beer, I forgot what the hell. Oh, they would have cocktails, some Long Island. I think they would have. That's what they had. Long Island. Most of my native friends would have it. Long Island. Over here, in the chat room. Let me see the chat room. All right, look, we're at 119 minutes. I think we've had a fun stream, 119 minutes fun stream for all of you watching. Let's drink a little bit of water. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the chat room. Let me end this poll real quick. In the chat room. Do you like snow? Do you like snow? Do you like winter snow? 55% of you said yes. 45% said no. Out of 200 votes, that's a lot of votes. Out of 200 votes, that is a ton of votes. I'm going to say this for all of you. That's a ton of votes. Jay, Super Chat Jay. Thank you so much, Jay, for the Super Chat. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to lock this in right here. One time. Let's say it's over here for... Here we go for all of you. Let's say it's for all of you. Do you like snow bunnies? I think white women are beautiful. White women are beautiful. Anyways, the point of the matter is, I just sprayed this on. It smells fantastic, and you're probably wondering what I sprayed on. Well, it's a mix of... What I sprayed on is a mix of this and Zahorov Royale X, but this is triple X. So I'm going to say this honestly, it's one of the most divine smells you can have. 25% of the Zahorov in here in one of our vials, and 75% of the Charon, I believe it's called. Thank you for what you do, Reaper. B-Band, thank you so much. Did I send another? I wanted to go back to the super chats that you guys send, okay? I really appreciate the super chats you guys send. I also want to try this out. Let me see. Let me try this out in the chat room. Let me try this out in the chat room. Are you watching from home? Over here, Jay. Jay. Thank you so much, Jay. Huge appreciation, Jay. I need to officially get a little bit more of a tan. My tan is official. I need to get more of a tan. I'm gonna start doing my workout. Jay, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Let me know, are you watching from home? Are you watching from home? Thank you so much, Jay. Over here in the chat room, I'm gonna read this over here. I'm going to read this because it's good to read some things in the chat room. Okay, have you read books? You read Human People, Body Language? I've read all about body language. One thing that I'm a professional at is body language. I'm a professional at body language. I'm also a professional at facial language. I'm very much of a professional when it comes to body language. So for some of you that want to learn about body language, I might teach you about that one day. There are certain observations that you can tell by a person just by how they look, how they talk, their demeanor, and just the way they look, and just anything. I'm a professional when it comes to that. For some of you that do not know, yes, law enforcement does use a lot of those tactics, especially if you're a detective. Many detectives know about body language. Also, I've been learning a lot of lip reading. I've been learning a lot of lip reading in the span of a decade, 2 decades maybe. It's helped out a lot. Over here, Jay says, watching from the bar now. Thank you so much, Jay. I hope it's not winter over there. April over there. If you guys, somebody says, yes, yes. Watching from home, yes, yes. Thank you guys. Over here, P-Band, okay, I'll set it up so I won't miss a stream. Thank you so much for all of you. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that notification bell. Later on today, on the main stream today, this is going to be for the morning stream for the people that are snow time. I'll be cooking up something very simple for all of you. And I'm thinking about putting it on the grill just to see how it goes on the small little grill. Over here, somebody says they're watching from home on their 70-inch TV. Thank you so much for watching me on the 70-inch TV. Again, fragrances is what I would recommend all of you to try to get into. If I wanted to recommend you something, I already told you this is a great one. You can find these fragrances online. But if anything, this Buffalo Trace, I'm gonna put a couple Buffalo Traces on the mainstream together. You guys asked for a whiskey challenge, and I'm gonna do a whiskey challenge for all of you today on the mainstream. And for all of you watching, I'm gonna finish this up on my own time. I'm gonna do that Arnold Schwarzenegger, workout. I'm gonna do some push-ups, my 200 push-ups that I do, and I'm gonna do a little bit of workouts for all of you watching. You guys are amazing. I really appreciate you. 61 likes on this stream. $55 on this stream, and a huge appreciation to all of you. Reaper Crew, you know what time it is? We're #1 for all of you watching. A huge shout out to all of you. Yes, huge shout out to all of you. I'll see you all soon on the next stream. Jay, thank you so much. Beard Viking, thank you so much. April, thank you so much for being a main wrench today on the stream. And for all of you, you guys are amazing. That runner, that photo of that wolf, or that dog runner, that dog looks amazing. Shout out to all of you that have canines, and shout out to all of you that have dogs. I do know that one of our people out here, they don't like pythons. Her name is April. For all of you watching, you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. I hope you enjoyed the morning stream, afternoon stream. Do me a favor, hit that like button. I'm going to bring you a different beer on today's stream. A different beer, and I'm going to show you why you should buy the beer. There's one beer I will be showing you that some of you can't get at your stores. And for all of you watching, I need to get the hell up out of here and start working out. I'm going to go take a shower. I'm going to do things I need to do, and then we're going to be back later on the double stream today. I'm giving you guys a double stream because winter time is here, and some of you are stuck. Some of you are stuck. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. And the mainstream will be later on today. Reaper Crew, you know what time it is? Yes, you know what time it is. We're #1. And don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Shout outs to it. Shout outs to the USA. Shout outs to the U.S. Marines, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Space Force. Battling the aliens over there on the moon. Shout outs to law enforcement, all of our essential workers. Shout outs to the essential workers out there working their heart off. Our nurses, EMTs, all the doctors, firemen, all the detectives. Shout out to all the detectives. Shout out to all the special forces. You guys are awesome. And shout out to our country. Shout out to your country if you're watching for your country, because your country allows you to watch anywhere, and that's amazing. Shout out to the freedom you have. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for the stream. And I'll see you all in a couple more hours on the double stream. Reaper officially